An Inspector Calls, written by J.B. Priestley. The play centers around the prosperous Berlin family, who are hosting a dinner party to celebrate the engagement of their daughter, Sheila Berlin, who is getting married to Gerard Croft, the son of a competing industrialist. Otto Berlin, the father of Sheila Berlin, in a betrayal of manly pride, delivers a toast for the young couple and then advises them. He also advises Eric and Gerard Croft, expressing his strong belief in individualism and capitalist value, saying that rumors of war and social unrest are nonsense. Just as the mood becomes jovial, an unexpected visitor arrives, which was introduced by the maid Edna. The Inspector Gould, who was the visitor, is an inspector who came to investigate the suicide of a young woman named Eva Smith. The Inspector Gould, shows a photograph of Eva Smith, who committed suicide, to Arthur Berlin. Arthur Berlin later admit that Eva Smith used to work in his factory, that he had sacked her 18 months ago for inciting strike with other workers for higher wages or higher pay. Otto Berlin remains defensive and maintains that he was right in sacking Eva Smith. Inspector Gould told Otto Berlin that Eva Smith left his factory when she was sacked, but later got a new job in a shop where his daughter Sheila often went to. He then shows Sheila the same photo he showed to her father. Sheila breaks down and runs out of the room when she saw the photo. Later confessed that she was involved in getting Eva Smith sacked from the shop because Sheila was envious that Eva Smith looked more beautiful than her in a dress she wanted to buy. Throughout the act, the inspector continues his questioning in a calm and methodical manner, allowing the Berlin to incriminate and expose their mistake to him. The act concludes with Sheila warning her family that they are just beginning to realize the full implication of their action, that their family entanglement with Eva Smith is not over. Act 2 started with the inspector still questioning the Berlin family. Now, the Berlin family and Gerard Croft in their dining room was facing questioning from Inspector Gould about their connection to the suicide of a young woman named Eva Smith. The inspector turns his attention towards Gerard Croft, who initially denies knowing Eva Smith, but when pressured, Gerard admits to having had an affair with a woman called Daisy Renton. The inspector, hearing this, said that it is the same Eva Smith who changed her name to Daisy Renton. Gerard narrates how he met her at a local bar and noticed she was in a desperate situation. He provided her with money and temporary accommodation in a friend's vacant apartment. Sheila, on hearing this, is deeply upset and was very angry. Returns Gerard's engagement ring, although she claims to appreciate his honesty. Gerard then asked to leave the room to get some fresh air, which Inspector Gould allows. The inspector then turns his questioning to Mrs. Belling, Arthur Belling's wife, also called Sybil. It is revealed that Eva, when she was pregnant and destitute, approached a women's charity headed by Miss Belling, seeking for help. Mrs. Belling, also known as Sybil, was greatly offended because Eva Smith used her name, Mrs. Belling. So Mrs. Belling used her influence to deny her the assistance she was looking for, driving her further into despair. As the questioning was going on, Sheila grows increasingly distressed as she begins to understand the full implications of her family's actions. Mrs. Belling, on the other hand, tries to shift the blame onto the father of Eva Smith's unborn child, insisting that he should be made to pay and be held responsible for Eva's death, not knowing that the person she condemns is her own son, Eric. In Act 3, when Eric, the son of Arthur Belling, returns, he admits to meeting Eva Smith, which is also known as Daisy Renton, at the same bar Gerard Croft had met her, and believed to have a relationship with her. When Eva became pregnant, Eric stole money from his father's office to support her. However, Eva refused to take any more money when she found out it was stolen. When Eric's parents tried to cover up their part in Eva's fate, Eric became remorseful over Eva's death and angrily responds to his parents' attempt to cover it up. As the revelation went down, Inspector Gould delivers a final speech, reminding the Belling of their responsibility towards other people. He warns them that if they don't learn from their actions, they will be taught in fire, blood, and anguish in the upcoming wars. After delivering this message, he leaves. After the inspectors exit, the family begins arguing. Gerard, who had left the room for some time, reveals that he met a police officer outside who claimed that no Inspector Gould works at their police department. The family begin to speculate that the inspector might have been a fraud. They also find out that there might not have been a recent suicide case. Just as they start feeling relieved and begin to believe that they have escaped the consequences of their actions, the phone rings. Mr. Belling answered and is informed that a young woman has just died in the hospital after swallowing disinfectant, and that a police inspector is on his way to question them. Now let's talk about the themes in an inspector course. Remember that a theme is the main idea of any literary work. The main themes in an inspector course are: 1. Social responsibility. The play shows the idea that every individual is responsible for their actions and their impact on others. 2. The theme of class and social inequality. These depict or represent the differences between the lives of the Belling and Eva Smith. Their character towards Eva are heavily influenced by her lower social status. 3. The theme of hypocrisy. The Belling are initially portrayed as a respectable upper-class family, but as the play progressed, their actions reveal that they are hypocritical. 4. The theme of guilt and responsibility. Sheila and Eric felt guilty and accept responsibility, while their parents, Arthur and Sybil, showed blame. 5. The theme of gender role. Women face different expectations and opportunities compared to men, showing the gender inequality of that period. The tragic circumstances of Eva's life are partly a result of her vulnerability as a woman in a patriarchal society or society ruled by men. 6. The theme of young and old. The younger character Sheila and Eric are willing to change and take responsibility, but older character Mr. and Mrs. Belling refuse to acknowledge their wrongdoings. This represents the clash between the old and new generation. So let's talk about the setting in this play. Remember, the setting is the time and the place or environment the literary work is set. This play was set in Edwardian in England in 1912. These are the characters in an inspector course. 1. Inspector Gould, a mysterious figure who interrogates the Belling family. 2. Arthur Belling, the patriarch of Belling family, who is a prosperous factory owner, a local magistrate, and a former mayor. He is more concerned with his family reputation and his potential knighthood than the welfare of his employees. He fired Eva Smith from his factory for demanding higher wages. 3. C.B. Belling, the matriarch of the Belling family, refusing to accept responsibility for denying help to Eva Smith, who was pregnant and destitute. 4. Sheila Belling, the Belling daughter who wanted to marry Gerald Croft, was naive and, after learning of her role in Eva's dismissal from a job at a local shop, becomes remorseful. 5. Eric Belling, the Belling's son, who is revealed to be an alcoholic and the father of Eva Smith's unborn child. 6. Gerald Croft, engaged to Sheila Belling. He is the son of a wealthy industrialist. 7. Eva Smith, or Daisy Renton. She is a young and unseen character who tragically commit suicide by taking in disinfectant.